You're not on the field, court, or ice. You are on the couch. From PG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, CWall. Delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from the hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's CWall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Cold on the ice, pick any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it make them mad, man. CWall and we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.
Good evening and welcome to Coaching from the Couch, live from the studio. I am your host, CWall. It's Thursday, y'all, so you already know what time it is. It is time to talk all DC sports with me for the next 30 minutes. Thank you so much for joining. As you all know, there is never a dull moment in DC sports. So I got a lot I want to share with you all tonight. But before I get started, I want to remind you all to please share this show. If you have any family, friends that you think just are diehard DC sports fans and would love to join the conversation, please make sure you share it to them so that we can have them on live. I'm going to try to get back on the live in a moment, but y'all know I get a little, when it's time to multitask, I don't always do so well. So we're going to try to get the multitasking thing going tonight, but definitely share the show. Invite your family and friends to join us because we definitely want to engage you all online. So last week I had to flip a coin on what I wanted to start with and where I wanted to go with this. But let me I'll probably still be jumping around a little bit because there's always so much. First, I do want to share a story that isn't necessarily the best story, but I think it still could be considered a good news story or something positive in the end. I don't know if you all have heard earlier this month about the Metro Maple Leafs. It is a Maryland hockey team, preteens and teenagers. A young man, Divine, that is on the team, a young 13-year-old African-American young man, in a game in Philadelphia, was actually threatened and harassed by fans as well as the team. A lot of racial slurs, and even folks having the nerve to make monkey sounds as he was out on the ice. His teammates were not having it. So it turned out that they had to show out for real, to stand up for their teammate and to stand up to racism, because it just flat out isn't right, and it is something that should not even be going on at this point in time, but yet our children have to deal with this. So the Caps got wind of this unfortunate event and reached out to that team, and they're going to be attending that game, attending the Caps game on Monday night, and they're going to meet the Stanley Cup champions. So what started out as a very just all around not good situation, it was able to put some smiles on the kids' faces because they're very excited about going to the game on Monday night, and of course very excited about meeting the Stanley Cup champions. But yet, while it's a very unfortunate event, kudos to the Caps for reaching out. I know other hockey teams and players across the league have been reaching out to this young man directly, as well as the team, and just giving them encouragement and support for what they had to go through in that experience. But definitely shout out to the Caps for putting a smile on that team's faces, and I really do hope, shout out to the Metro Maple Leafs for having your teammates back, and I definitely hope you all enjoy yourselves on Monday night at the game. So another big announcement this week in the collegiate basketball world: the CWall is headed to Baltimore. Can you believe it? I couldn't when I saw it. I was like, what? And before I even keep going, in my studio audience is Joy and Matt. They're in here, so when you hear them talking, you hear me talking to them, then that's who I'm talking to. I'm not in here talking to myself, folks. But anyway, so the CIAA will be in Baltimore. Charlotte still has the contract for this year and next, but then it will be headed to the Royal Farms Arena. And I can't even believe it. I was like, whoa. About 10 years ago, it would have been a dream come true for me. But right now, I'm like, wow. Now, let's be clear. It definitely brings in a lot of money. I think I saw $50.5 million that event brings to the state of North Carolina, which is awesome. So they're bringing in that kind of money. I mean, hey, it's definitely a positive economic impact. Can't turn that down. But Baltimore beat out Charlotte and Norfolk, Virginia for this bid. And they said one thing that really just kind of made Baltimore a shoe-in was that they wanted to be sure that Baltimore was going to basically weave the event into the city. I know in recent years there's been some talk about how things changed in Charlotte, specific CIAA service charges and stuff from the restaurants and hotels and things of that nature. So we'll not be having that at Baltimore, at least we hope. But it is a huge opportunity. Gotta admit, definitely a huge opportunity. That tournament had been in Charlotte for 15 years. It's been 15 years that it'll be there. So I mean that's remarkable for any tournament, because tournaments normally move. So, for them to have kept that relationship, meaning the CIAA, with the city of Charlotte, that's huge. But all good things must come to an end. So, hey, now the party will be in Baltimore. So, see them 2021. Because I'm sitting up here talking about it, I'll be there because it's a sporting event. So of course I'm going to be there. It's down the street. So also in college news, okay, so Monday night was the national championship, and where we saw the new head coach for the Maryland Terps, Mike Locksley, basically coached his last game with the Alabama Crimson Tide as the offensive coordinator. Some news on the coaching front. Mike is bringing one of the Tide's assistant coaches with him. He is bringing Josh Gaddis with him. Josh is the wide receivers coach and co-offensive coordinator with the Crimson Tide. He will be coming to Maryland to be the offensive coordinator. Lot of positive feedback I've heard so far, and just doing my own research on him and asking around. And saying that he definitely played a big role in Alabama and helping them develop one of the nation's top receiving corps, and he's a very good recruiter. Prior to Alabama, he coached over at Penn State, so they're beefing up the coaching staff over there. They really are beefing up the coaching staff. I did ask a question online. Given how Alabama lost on Monday, because, I know this is all DC sports, right? This is all DC, Maryland sports, but got to bring it up because, Mike is coming here. They got demolished. Clemson beat them bad on Monday. And so I asked the question, is anybody concerned because of the offensive showing, which I saw there was a lack thereof? I mean, I think at the end of the day, I only saw a couple people are concerned, but they're not concerned because of Monday night and what was shown on Monday night. Now, let me go and say that a lot of folks definitely are like, oh, he's going to be okay. And one thing that I saw that was a theme, at least in my opinion, of what folks mentioned regarding Mike, coming here, is that it was, Lee Best said it was an emotional hire. I definitely agree this is an emotional hire, but not necessarily. But that's a positive thing. I didn't think it. I don't look at him. He has his roots here. folks, he's a household name in the area, and I think he will attract, and as well as how they're beefing the team up, from a coaching perspective. They'll attract some of the talent we have in this area that typically goes away to other schools. That's always been a recurring theme sometimes in the sports in this area, where all the top talent, they go away. So perhaps him being a household name and folks being familiar with Mike Locksley and his work ethic, it may draw people to stay local and play for the Terps. Other kind of concerns have been just overall with the addition of Butch Jones. I mean, my guys Terrence and Dante were definitely like, I hope there's no legal issues that'll end up happening. We don't want no illegal recruiting. We don't need no bad press. Let's just keep it legal, keep it clean. No foolishness. Or like I shared with y'all my word, no fooly-wang. No fooly-wang, please. We want to do this the right way, which I believe that they will. So from the perspective of, hey, Monday night, Clemson was just better, period, from the beginning all the way to the end. About halfway through, I was like, oh, Alabama in trouble. So you can't, Mike did what he could, but they were undefeated the whole season until Monday night. So, hey, you no complaints at all. You just had to go up against a team that was flat out better than you, and they brought that fire on Monday night. So that is what that is. So that was my perspective. I don't think Monday night was an all-out panic like, oh my gosh. Now, one thing that was also mentioned, I got to bring this up though, because it's a fair point, is that Coach Locksley does not have the best record as a head coach. That's a fair point. That is a fair point. But what I will say is that I think the learning from Nick Saban and just the learning from losing, right? I still got a positive feel. It could be the emotional tie, right? But at the end of the day, it remains to be seen. I still think it's a great thing for the program. So hopefully I won't be sitting up here in the fall looking at y'all like I thought it was a good idea, but maybe it wasn't. But no, I think he's going to be fine. And so that's all good there. Now, let me move on to really, really quick. I'm going to try not to be too long on this one. My guy from DC United, our Major League Soccer team, our star player, Wayne Rooney. It has come out publicly that he was out Dulles Airport drunk and intoxicated. But in his defense, he was either coming off, let me look. He had some drinks and sleeping pills during a 14-hour flight. Now, from Saudi Arabia. That's a long flight. I don't know, you should mix cocktails and sleeping pills or anything like that. That's probably not a good idea. It's a bad idea, actually. However, look, Wayne, if you're listening, you can't be out Dulles Airport. You can't be out there in that county getting drunk, my friend. This is not Manchester. You can't do. I know that you would like to, and you feel as though you should. And some people probably would agree with you. But you can't do that out Dulles Airport. We don't want you in the news like that, my guy. Try not to do that. But once I understood that it was a 14-hour flight, then I was like, hey, people got to do what they got to do. Flying is not for everybody at all. So I kind of get that. So shout out to him. That's water under the bridge. He'll be all right. The Nats are steadily making moves this offseason. I ain't mad at them. They've added second baseman Brian Dozier to their team on a 1-year deal. I don't have any details on how much that deal is, but I will say this. The Nats are making moves. I guess right now they're the front runners potentially to get Bryce Harper back. Who knows? I'm kind of tired of the conversation. I don't know, but hey, I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I don't know what's going to end up happening with that. But what I will say is this: The Nats have done, in my opinion, a very good job of filling some holes that they had and just trying to do what you do in the offseason, and that's get better. So kudos to them for making moves. They didn't let the Bryce Harper not signing yet, or maybe not signing at all, stifle them from making moves this offseason. So it's all positive things. So I don't know. Yet another week of not really knowing if Bryce is going to come back or not, but they're still in talks. It's still out there, and as long as it's still in talks and still out there, then there's still a possibility. So let's just let that be that, and I'm going to just say that there, because who knows what can happen. So now what I'm about to do, you all, is do what I have no idea what I'm doing, and that is try to get on this live while I'm live. This is the beauty of being on something when it is live. And I cannot see. We're going to figure this out one day, y'all. We're going to figure this out. We are going to figure this out because I cannot see all the comments. So, if anybody has any questions, Matt and Joy, can y'all please let me know? If anybody has any questions, if anybody is saying hello, just hey y'all, hey everybody, because I can't see everybody's comments, so that's on me. Anywho, anybody has any questions or say anything, definitely let me know, y'all. I appreciate that. Wizards! John Wall surgery went well on Tuesday. He was on Instagram. They had a picture of him on Instagram, laid up in the hospital bed, but he was smiling. He had his laptop. He seems to be in a tremendous mood. So that's fantastic. That's always good. Whenever you see somebody laid up in the hospital and they're smiling, then it went well. So that's good. That's always outstanding. I did ask a question today on a number of pages with Wizards fans of Bradley Beal. Should Bradley Beal be in the AllStar game? I had mentioned this earlier to Matt and Joy, and they both were like, yeah. And that was kind of the resounding response, right? Was yes. He should be on the AllStar team. He's totally proven that this year that he should. But I did get a few no's. I absolutely got a few no's, and only one explanation for a no, which I do want to share with you all. I do want to share this response because it's valid. It's an opinion. It's valid. So I really, want to get into this. And this is from my guy, Dion. Dion says he's a baller regarding Bradley Beal. He's a baller, no doubt. But this year he's in the shadows. Beal nor the Wizards are making any real noise so far this season. Coaches should get him in on his evaluated play, but he hasn't done anything notable. So he's supposed to be a three-point shooter, but it's less than 35% from the three. I did not check that. So I'm just taking your words because I did not double check that stat. And which is the worst in his career. 47% from the field this year, though, which is the best in his career. Not making free throws. How can any guard shoot less than 80 from the stripe? Maybe last year, maybe next year. Just not enough from him or the Wizards this year.
Someone asked the question. They want to know if the Wizards are better without John Wall.
I don't think so. And I'll tell you, I don't think so. And I'll tell you why in a minute. So, to this point about Bradley Beal. Right now, through December, I think I pulled, he's 27.1 points per game. So he's 6th in the NBA, and he's 2nd in the East since December the 1st. I think what may be, what may not look so sexy regarding Bradley Beal is that the Wizards aren't winning. The Wizards aren't making any noise, so therefore nobody's making any noise on that team. I think people more so look at all-stars. You are all-star if you are making your team better. And I think the hard truth is, while Bradley is having a great, in my opinion, he's having a great year as an individual contributor, his individual contributions aren't necessarily making a heavy mark with the team. That's what I think. I think it's not as attractive because the team is just not playing well. So you're only as good as your team is. But because of his numbers, right? And my God, Daryl, you had some numbers. What was it? Was it 24, 5, and 5 that his numbers are this year? When you had numbers like that, that's all-star numbers. You know what I mean? It is. That's just a fact. Now, is the team playing? No. But I think that might be where folks are like, the Wizards don't need no representation on the All-Star team. That's okay. And because fans vote, that might be where he's going to be on the lower end because it's a popularity contest. We all know that. And so he's not necessarily, hey, but it's something to be said about a player that every team won. Because let's be for real. Then we can go into the question about is John Wall better or the team better without John Wall. I will say this. Bradley Beal is the one that's looked at as the asset across the league. Okay? He's the one that's the asset. So if you're looked at as an asset and your individual contributor numbers actually speak to that, then you can't necessarily, I can't stand by, no, he shouldn't be in the All-Star game just because the Wizards aren't winning. His individual numbers show that, yes, he should be considered and he should absolutely be in the game. If he doesn't, that would be unfortunate, but I would understand why he didn't get voted in because the Wizards not real sexy right now. They're losing. So, I mean, hey, that is what that is. In terms of the Wizards being better without John Wall, it's hard for me to say better without John Wall, and here's why. Is the outcome any different? If they're moving the ball, now John was still like in the top 5 of assist leaders across the NBA. So I'm still confused. I still need to understand how you can be not sharing the ball and not moving the ball if you're top 5 in the NBA in assists. I don't know, and I'm trying to figure out how that works. But I can only, if you're playing better basketball without a player, are the results better as a result? If the results are the same, then who cares what you, I don't care how you won. I don't care how you lose. Is this going to equal a better outcome? Once I see the Wizards have a better outcome, because here's my thing, quite frankly and quite honestly. If it's still too much, for me, this is me now talking. It's too much money on that floor for one person to go down and now everything is done. Okay, if Bradley Beal is the asset on this team, if this the guy that everybody want, right? You still got Otto, you still got Mahimi. Hey, y'all better make something happen because this can't go down. The ship ain't going down because John went down. Absolutely negativo not. So that's why I get confused with the whole, they move the ball more, they do this, that, and the third. Way. Is the result the same? Because I'm looking at the result. I can look at how they're playing. Yeah, they seem to be more comfortable, but I also think John is very intimidating. Most type A's are. So y'all are waiting for John to make a move when you just need to make a move. If y'all all goons on the floor, let's all be on goon status and let's just do what we got to do and stop waiting for that man to do something spectacular or make him feel like he got to take the ball into his own hands and go fly up in the sky and fall all over the place on the floor, because I get tired of seeing that too. Was there another question?
Cheryl Amy said the team is not just one man but a joint effort.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got some hockey questions, some Caps questions.
Okay. Let's move back to the Caps. We can move back to the Caps.
Cheryl Amy said, what's up with, is it Jacob Rana leading the Caps to a win?
Who? I'm going to have to see that.
Okay.
I mean, he's good. Hi, Miss Cheryl. He's good. I mean, but see, this is my point about teams. I mean, and every sport is different. Every sport is different. So let me be very clear with that before I move on. But when your top players are not doing their best that day, then that's what the team is for. It's up to the team to make moves and play up if they need to, or be who they say they are on paper. And I feel like that with every sport. That's just me. I know sports are different, and I know that different things matter. But when your team is built effectively, then it works. When your depth chart and your coaching is up to par, you shouldn't see a considerable drop off. And that's just a candy. That's just a CWall. I said my real name, but it's all good. Y'all know me anyway. It's just a me thing. I think somebody else had a question. I can't pull nothing up.
It's a question about James Harden.
Oh yeah, well no, we're not talking about James Harden. Anything else? Y'all got anything else? Any other questions? Okay.
Nope, we just got a shout out John Adams, Miss Jackie, Lakeisha Chanel.
Hey Keisha. Hey John. Hey Mom. Hey Miss Cheryl. I think I saw Dervin was on. Hey to all of you all.
Eric.
Hey Eric. I also want to mention something. And I might not get to my favorite team in the universe. Probably a blessing. But anyway, let me just say a shout out to Jeff Green. Yesterday was 7 years since Jeff Green had his open heart surgery. And I don't know if anyone remembers. I remembered, but you know how things happening so fast and the time goes and it just, I didn't catch it. But he has such an amazing story of resilience. And I'm going to tell you, he's been doing his part, I think, for the Wizards. He's definitely, not been in panic mode. I think I could say the same for Trevor Ariza, although Trevor Ariza just got here. I think their veteran stature has them such that, they're just not in panic mode. They're doing, they're just playing the game and they're trying to do their part. And I just want to shout out to Jeff Green, as yesterday was his 7th anniversary from his open heart surgery. And he thought he was never going to play basketball again, all those things, and the man is still playing basketball. He's such an inspiration, and I'm going to tell him that next time I see him. So,
okay, we got a question. Ask if Greg Williams is worth returning to DC.
So let's who asked that question?
You Derv, maybe, I don't know.
So, I guess now I got to talk about the Redskins. So before I get to that, and I still haven't gotten to this question. I asked the question last week, and I got a lot of great feedback on, if you could have a conversation with Dan Schneider, what would you tell him? Like, what what's the 3 things, what's some advice you would give him? What do you want to talk to him about? And this week, because there's never a dull moment, right? There's never a dull moment in DC. It's stuff going on with the Redskins coaching staff. What really is going on, what really is not going on, who knows? But there's something brewing. And there has been something brewing for quite some time. There's been a lot of feedback about toxic culture, people not being happy, all of those things. Folks, easily wanting to go get themselves another job. Comments about people getting fired, people getting that's not fired, but their job is being shopped already. It's so. With that being said, there could be a possibility that Greg Williams comes back. Will he? I don't know, because he didn't leave this area on the best of terms. So he should, but then again, because it went down in such a non-positive way, I don't know if the team could even take that. I honestly do not know if the team could take that, and I'm gonna be real honest with you. So I don't know, even if they even need it right now. This is a high level of dysfunction, and so I don't know if that's even what's best. I know from a perhaps disciplinarian and leadership perspective, absolutely, but you know, we shall see. We shall see. I don't know whose job is being shopped anymore, whose isn't, because it's been that dysfunctional that people, their jobs are getting shopped and they still here and they're like, wait a minute, I didn't know I didn't have a job, so why you calling my friends asking do they want my job because I'm here?
Understandably, but the Redskins got to make some changes.
They got to make some changes.
They got to.
Whew. I tried not to talk about them. Waited to the end. But we are at the end. So I just appreciate y'all being here. That was a lot in a short period of time. I hope you all enjoyed, and I appreciate you all so much. I will see you all back here next Thursday, 7:30 p.m. You all be blessed. Good night.
Sports is what we do. It's the fast track at peak speed, moving across the ice, blockers, hitters, B-team, beatdowns, and knockouts, doubleheaders, playoffs, touchdowns, smackdowns, on the mat or on the track. The spirit of a champion. The triple-double. Make that double front flip. This